Alright, welcome back to episode 2 of planning for the Crossfire. Today we're going to be talking about engine choice. It's like your engine choice tends to be a pretty hot topic around the interwebs and everything. You got people wanting to stick with brands and same brand, same car, or they have a favorite motor that they just want to put in everything, or the works. So, personally, I don't have any brand loyalty, and when you look at the Raider, you can tell I have no problem swapping different companies' parts in there. So, I could care less what engine goes in there, as long as it's an engine that will fit our needs, because that 6-cylinder in the Crossfire is never going to hit the power that we want to within a budget. It's like you'd have to sink an easy 10 grand into that motor itself just to try to get anywhere close. And there's no real point in doing that. So essentially, to reach our 600 to 700 horsepower, we're obviously going to need a V8. So V8 swapping a Crossfire, lots of fun. Now then, just a quick little hitting eBay here. We can go take a look at what's the most common swap for these things is using a Mercedes V8. So as you can see, we got long blocks and everything for our 4 and the 5. Here's an 04 SL55 supercharged. This would be a good candidate, and you can see $3,800. But the issue you're probably going to run into doing this way is you're also going to have to figure out what... That one's not too bad. But you're going to have to figure out, like this one here is missing the intake and everything, but what are you going to use for transmission? All these Mercedes things are probably just going to mate to whatever their corresponding Mercedes transmission is, and by the looks of most of the Crossfire swaps that I've seen, they've all been automatics, and I don't necessarily want an automatic. I want a full out stick so I can grab whatever gear I want when I want, and I don't have to wait for a computer or the transmission to determine when I get the gear I want. So just that whole concept, some of the best runs in here, we're talking 3,000. This one isn't too bad at 1,300, but then you got that whole transmission issue. Here we go. An AMG 5.5, 17 grand. It's like they're just all over the place for Mercedes engines. Got a 6.3, 12,000. Even like a 1981 is 1,500. And the other thing is there's really no aftermarket for the most part for these things unless you're going to go to a custom shop and blow 10, 20 grand again. So essentially going Mercedes is just not in the budget. So then there has been other people that have, at least one other person has put in a Hemi engine. They had to do something crazy like replace the whole engine cradle, and they put a different steering system on. But just a quick look down here. Let's see, SRT 8. We got 4,600. 5 grand. 2,000. Here's a 2003 5.7 Hemi with 190,000, and they want 27. plus freight. So it's like for some reason there's a Dodge Mopar markup, like they've always been saying in the past. So it's like, although a Hemi would be really neat, it does have other downsides. At least the upside is we have plenty of aftermarket and we also have access to transmissions. But as we start looking at other options, let's just go Ford mod motors are probably going to be out. Those are really wide and I just don't want to deal with that and a turbo. So I guess let's go see the common V8 swap item. Let's just go LS engine. You can see they're about the same pricing as the other ones as you scroll through. So it's like when you're looking at things like here, 2300, it's pretty similar to the Hemi, but the part I kind of like about the LS motors is there's so many different sizes and so many different variations. I can get the L20 4.8 liter. That's out of the newer ones. You can get those little guys. They've got a pretty good pricing range, $1,300, $900. It's like when you get out of the, well, that's a Ford Escape. But you can get these pretty decent engines for a low price, and you know that they can hold some power. This one here has a whole bunch of this stuff. Doesn't have any of the front accessories, which is a common item for that the scrapping yards take off. They like gutting all the starter, power steering pump, and all that type of stuff and selling them separate. Nickel and dime everything. But back to which engine will be best for our needs, we can pull open a quick little picture that I kind of stuck together. Shows the different heights. So you got what Hemi would be, 32.5 inches high from oil pan to the top of the intake. We're talking like, what is that, 26 inches wide, edge to edge. They come over to the truck LS, and that's actually taller than the Hemi at 34 inches. And it's actually going to be a little bit skinnier. We got about 24 inches. So we save 2 inches on the width already. But where the real size savings is when you have the car variant of the LS. So as you can see right through here, it's quite a bit shorter. And just that same little, because of this power steering, or not power steering, because of the alternator over here, it's just about as wide as the Hemi. So just out of the infinite possibilities that is had by LS motors being in vans, cars, pickup trucks, there are so many different stock items that can be picked up for super cheap, which is probably why you see all of those LS swap vehicles on the interwebs. And I guess for all intensive purposes, we are probably not going to be all that much different than they are in going with an LS motor. Now, I haven't purchased a motor yet. I'm still battling out which one I want to do and where I want to get it. It's like one part of me is liking the concept of doing the big 6-liter out of the truck, and then it'll be easier to hit that 6-700. Or if I just want to go with the something different, like doing the 4.8, so I can get a little bit of more RPM potential, and just rev her out a little longer, create a little more boost in there. So I'm kind of leaning towards the 4.8 just from those little details, and not too many actually run it. They want to do the 5.3 or 6-liter, or the even bigger 6.2, or essentially what I'm kind of thinking is try to get one of these little modern L20s or something. They've got a little bit better rod than some of the earlier LR4s. And then all that we have to do is put in a decent little cam in there and maybe some different valve springs, and we should be able to comfortably rev her out to 7,000 if we need to. So that'll make it a lot easier to find the correct power band that we have to worry about. And so pretty much to go with this, we're just going to follow a little bit of a formula type of thing that Matt Happel over there, Denma or whatever he is, from Sloppy Mechanics. He does a lot of these super cheap LS builds. He actually kind of rocked out a 6-liter stock block everything and ran that out to 1,000 wheel. And currently he's running a 4.8 LR4 at about 600 horsepower to the wheels on a pickup truck. So we're thinking we're going to go that direction with the whole VS Racing 7875 turbo. And yeah, we'll have one hell of a little rocket in the Crossfire sporting a LS turbo. So now that we kind of have the engine part figured out, we'll have to go on to the next episode. So be sure to check that back on that one. And we're actually going to be talking about the transmission and how to figure out what you want, gear ratios, all that type of stuff. So be sure to check that out. Subscribe if you want to see more. Like or leave. I don't care. So hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.